that you might be interested in finding, you can find on petedge.com. I have that listed on my items page. And this piece of equipment comes from Master Equipment under Pet Edge, and it's a table groomer table, and it comes with a little noose. Of course, this would have to be adjusted according to where the dog's neck was and the length of the space in between the noose. This arm, of course, is adjustable. It can come down if it needs to, or if it can go up. But it is also like a Lazy Susan type thing, that if you would like to get something to frequently groom your own dog in a safer grooming type environment, you can get this off of their website. I typically will use this for little puppies sometimes because it is lower. However, my adult dogs will outgrow that, which requires the bigger noose, and it would still have its own grooming noose that comes with it. And this, of course, is adjustable with different heights. Of course, you'd have to have something to fasten it to. Now, I also have a tool equipment holder. As you can see, I've got my little ribbons for their hair. I've got their rubber bands, all of my brushes, combs, different assortment of things that I use on a regular basis. And that piece can be gotten off of Tableworks, and he makes that specifically for his grooming arms that he sells. So you'd have to make sure that what you purchase is the same size. It gives you a little level shelf and little hooks, and that is an additional item that can go with your grooming setup. But this little piece is very helpful of having a place to groom your dog, having it secure, and also your puppy is going to need to be hair dried at some point. Now, you can use a crook or an arm to hold a professional dryer, which I have mounted under my table. It has heat. It also has a dial-up speed. Now, for puppies, they're going to be scared, so you start at the lowest. And then as they get older, you can dial up your speed as needed. And then you have the heat button. You have one level and the second level. And this table holder, or this hairdryer holder, comes in two different sizes. I have the longer size, and I believe it's a 6-inch shorter table holder, but it will hold on to whatever surface you have. I get this from Tableworks, the same person that makes this item, and it just has the hooks, so you can actually hook on a regular hair dryer as needed. And what this does is it allows you to point the hair dryer nozzle in whatever direction you need it without having to hold on to your hair dryer, and keeping it far enough away from puppy so you don't burn puppy, and it's not as scary if it's a little further away. And then you have both hands free to help with grooming puppy. And so in addition to a surface to groom your pet, a secure way to hold your pet, a way to dry your pet, you're also going to need some type of trimmer. Not clippers or blades, you want a trimmer. And what that signifies is the amount of space between the teeth. So as they're oscillating back and forth, trimmers are less likely to cut puppy, whereas your clippers that have different blades, that can actually, if you're not skilled enough, you can cut your dog. You can cause severe damage that could result in needing stitches. I've seen some that have needed skin grafts. It was that bad. But the trimmers, you can do the kind that are plugged in, or you can do the rechargeable ones. I'll show you a little in another video of how we do hygiene clips with the trimmer and the paws. Two tools that we have that we don't typically use on a Havanese. We have a comb or a rake. These are very harsh. These are good for golden retrievers and stripping out a second coat that's really deep down at the skin. And these are not very forgiving. You can scratch your dog, you can hurt them. However, if you do have a very bushy, heavy Havanese, you can get down to the surface to get up some of that dead hair. but you do need to be very cautious if you're using this. Same thing about slickers. Slickers are very fine, fine wires, and they can poke the skin just as easily as the rake can. We don't typically use slickers as a regular daily brush. Once you've brushed your dog, once you've combed out any mats, if there's these little bitty hair balls that are still stuck in the hair shafts, you can use this to comb those out so that that little teeny tiny hairball does not create an additional mat.